Hi everybody, welcome to Sassenach Quilts and a very warm Thursday to you. You'll probably see this on Friday because it just depends on the editing and how I can get it all to work. So today's question is, what do you do when your quilt backing is too small for your quilt top? The answer is to make it bigger, and there's many different ways that you can do that, and everybody has their own view on how to do it. Now, the quilt top I'm talking about that I've pieced together is 104 inches square. It's huge. And so in order to take it to the long armour and get it done, it's too big for my frame, otherwise I'd do it here. So in order to get it to the long armour, it needs to be bigger all the way around, usually by 3 or 4 inches, sometimes up to 6. Talk to your long armour, ask them what they want and how much bigger it needs to be, and then you can judge how much fabric you either need to buy if that's what you need to do, or how to make the king size sheet that you've got bigger. So I'm going to explain how to do that. First things first, let's go and have a look at the quilt top that's concerned. And while we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe and ding the bell for notifications, and let's help the Sassenach Quilts grow. Don't forget to ask questions, don't forget to have an opinion, and I'll see you in a moment when we're showing you the quilt top. So we've just had to come out of the cloth house to show you the beautiful Starlog cabin quilt by Eleanor Burns from Quilt in a Day. Now this is my version of it. It is actually a traditional log cabin with the bits in the middle, but it's a very subtle pattern, and I did it on purpose very subtly. So when you stand far enough back, you'll be able to see it. So this is the pattern I used. I will put a link to the description box below, and it's bigger than the biggest one in there. So just so that you have an idea of how big this quilt is. It's huge. I love it, but it's time to quilt it to get the wool batting and the backing on it. So let's explain how we've got it big enough. So the easiest way to show you how to do this, because it's just too big to open out and demonstrate here on my work surface, is to cut this in half and make it bigger lengthways. So if I just do that here, like that, so you've got two halves. Then you insert your piece of fabric so that you have the quilt top a bit longer that way. Now you have two options here. You can either cut it in half again there and have a cross in the middle of your quilt, which many people do, or because it's so big, I've just done this. For me, it was just too much to cut it in half and do all of that. What I've done is I've put an extra bit along the bottom like that, and that is the adjustment that I've got on my quilt. It now quilt backing. It now measures 120 by 112, which is big enough in each dimension to have the extra around the edge for long arming. So I will open it out next door in the lounge room and show you guys the massiveness of the backing that we've now got. So as you can see, it makes a massive backing. Now, some long armers may want these to be horizontal. Some aren't so fussed. As a long armour myself, I'm in the not so fussed bracket. They're so narrow, it doesn't really matter. And make sure you put at least a 1/2 inch seam on these ones at the back. Let me show you. You can see here, you've got at least 1/2 inch overlap there. It's not 1/4 inch, it's 1/2 inch, so it lays flat and doesn't ruck up behind the batting. And that's really important. That is really, really important. This is now big enough, so let me go back again and talk a little bit more at the end. Now, if you're working with a smaller quilt and your quilt backing needs to be a bit smaller, you may be able to do this method with normal fabric. Just depends on the size of your quilt. If you go diagonally like this, and then slide it, oops, Can you see how I've made it? It's shorter lengthways, but it's wider widthways, and you may be able to use that method to make your quilt top a bit wider so that your quilt top will fit on top. It's always worth thinking about. For this one, the quilt backing was just too big. I had to use straight lines and keep it straight because my brain couldn't work on the massive quilt top. But I could have done this method, but I would have lost important length. So depending on which method you use, you will end up with a quilt top that is big enough. Let me put these bits back together. With a quilt top, backing rather, that is big enough for your quilt top. And you can always piece it. Don't forget that you can piece it and like so, or like so, or in the middle and cut it across the middle and stretch it out in the middle, depending on which one you'd rather use. So there you are. That is how you make your quilt backing bigger. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Nice short one for you guys. Take care. We're up to 112 subscribers. Don't forget to comment and don't forget to like and subscribe, and even hype if you want to as well. You guys take care. Have a fabulous weekend, and I hope you have a fabulous time quilting. Take care now. Bye.